I think we're doing that tomorrow when we get there. Also, there's going to be shirts for whatever reason. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Are you guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
So let me turn that off. Try and move less. All right, let me move this over here. Okay. Which number is this? Is this number 5? Or is this number 4?
5, I think.
Okay. 3, 2. Welcome back to episode 5 of the Ignorant Experts podcast. I don't know why saying that has become so difficult for me. But everybody's here again tonight. It's going to be a fun night. It's the week before Christmas, and we are, again, going to have something go up on Christmas. Zach is unfortunately working, and the rest of us are probably going to be with our families, but there will be a video that goes up on Christmas or the day right after, depending on how the internet goes. But starting us off, I'm going to be the first expert, and Zach's going to give me a topic. What you got, Zach?
All right, Ryan. You are an expert on nudistortion.
I'm so sorry, what?
Nudistortion.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Can you put that in the chat? Yeah.
It's in the podcast chat.
Okay.
It's spelled Nudiustertion. Nudistortion.
Nudistortion. You're right. I am going to hate you for this. All right. 5 minutes on the clock. Go.
So what is nudistortion?
It's a crustacean. Honestly, it's a crab-like creature, but one that moves without a shell.
Then if it doesn't have a shell, how can it be a crustacean?
Because it's got pincers. Got little grabby pincers.
I see.
And it's got 6 legs, like a crab, or a crustacean.
Many things have 6 legs and pincers. Although I'll give you that I'm having a hard time thinking of a crustacean or a non-crustacean that also has pincers.
Well, that's because there isn't one. That's because there isn't one. Unless you're thinking of like spiders.
Is it from Australia?
No, actually South America. You can find them in Australia, but it's not native.
How are they to eat?
All right. A little gamey.
How big was it?
I mean, they vary in size. You can go from like a golf ball to maybe dinner plate. They're pretty small, but not as big as some of the like deep sea crabs get. You know, when you see in the fishing boats, huge crabs, not quite that big. They don't come on the land very much though. So,
Do the other crustaceans wish that they would cover up and wear some shell?
Honestly, I haven't asked them. I know that I do because they're really ugly. If you can imagine the blobfish, but kind of like a crab, it's kind of what it looks like. It's actually blind and has to use his antenna to get around.
I see.
How deadly are they? Do they pose a threat to the natives?
Only to like small fish and like algae, but no. To people, no. Not at all. I mean, I guess you could eat one, and if it's not cooked right, it could make you sick. But yeah, I mean, they're predators. They eat small fish, sometimes other small crab. But yeah.
How do they reproduce?
It's actually a great question. I think the sperm of the male is actually created in one of the arms of the crab, and they have to cut it off and then present it to a female who can then choose to refuse it. Actually, but if she does take it, then she attaches the arm like to the backside of her body where her reproductive organs are, and then it just kind of like Voltrons, you know, a little bit.
What happens to the male
eggs.
if it gets refused?
Well, it just never gets its arm back. The arm doesn't grow back. Eventually, it dies. Even if it mates, it eventually dies because it only has one arm. And in rare cases, sometimes the female, if really unpleased, will attack the male and consume it. Very spider-like.
Very spider-like. Interesting.
Yeah, and this is actually the official scientific name for these creatures. The Nudiasteration. I didn't say that right because I'm an expert on these things, but not pronunciation. They're really just called the blob crab.
The blob crab.
It's a blob crab. It's really gross to look at, as you
So
can imagine.
Are blob crabs tropical?
Yeah, kind of. They're more native to South America, like I said before.
Well, I didn't know for like the south end of South America or what.
No,
So-
they're not. They're not super cold. They're definitely more warm water crustaceans for sure.
I
So,
see.
you've only got a little bit of time
So-
left. Are there any closing questions?
Yeah, I do. So you were talking about the crab's arms is sort of Voltrons. What does that mean?
It means the female attaches it to her backside, and then they kind of fuse in a weird way. The weird stringy muscle kind of attaches it. Some of the hairs around the back of the crustacean grab hold of the arm, and then
Wait, they have hair?
they do now. Oh, thank God, that's over.
Yeah.
Okay, Zach, I hate you. You're right.
Well, you get negative points today, Ryan.
I knew it.
Nudiastertian means the day before yesterday.
What?
Is that even English?
Yes, it is.
Fact check.
It
this.
is the English word for the day before yesterday.
Fact check this.
Wow.
When was the last time it was commonly used?
I don't. Its earliest
Never.
documented use was 1647.
Mm.
They
Huh.
use that across the pond, or
Sure is.
Well, in the 1600s, I would guess so, since it seems to be an English word.
Yep.
But
Wow.
I saw the word and it made me chuckle a little bit. So I was like, well,
Nudiastertian. All right. Well, if you guys
I
are
was
lucky,
like-
I'm gonna put the word. I'm gonna put the word on the video if I figure out how to do that, so you can look it up if you want to. But that was rough.
yeah. So I mean, it was a fun one, I think. So
I just went with I heard the last part and I was like
Crustacean.
crustacean. I was like
Crustacean.
crustacean. Latch on to go.
Nudius crustacean.
Yeah, Nudius crustacean is where I went with it. Thus the blob crab.
Mm.
Okay, Fuzz, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling lucky?
No. Hit me.
You want me to take it easy on you, or do you want
Yeah,
to?
I don't. I
No.
Just,
We pull no punches.
I'm torn because I'm looking at two options here, and they're both very rich in options here.
Okay, A or B, Fuzz.
let him choose his own torture. That's mean.
6 or 7? Pick 6 or 7.
7.
7. You chose
7
lucky.
letters.
Oh.
You are you are a professional water slide tester.
Oh. Okay. That's good. I can do that.
Okay.
All right. I'm ready. Question me.
Okay.
Timer going, right?
It is.
All
It is
right.
going.
So my first question is, where do I sign up?
Well, I've spent many years working at a water slide company, and this is just kind of one of those things we do like a rotating schedule based on your tenure. And right now, since I've spent so many years, I get to be the tester, as it were, and quality control, which is great most of the time. So it's pretty cool. Like every kid's favorite dream, you just get to go around and test water slides.
I mean, it's got to be dangerous. Like, is it
Oh
super?
yeah.
Is it super thrilling? Like, give me something here. Like, it's not like you
It,
get on every water slide and it just works perfectly.
it is thrilling. Um, Mostly, what I'm there to do. Obviously, in our company, we want to test the funness of said water slide,
Mm,
so we might be able to improve designs. But the biggest things are like structural integrity of the
mm,
frame holding
mm,
the water slide up,
mm,
and also like when you're going up to the top of the water slide, how safe is the climb? And in some rare cases, you want to make sure that the inertia coming around corners in some places is not so much that a person could go off the water slide, which I've been pretty close to the edge before. It gets really hairy.
I'm really glad you brought up inertia because I was gonna ask like what the average speed or acceleration that you want to reach to attain maximum funness and slide. But like, how far is too far? Like, what is? I know there are government regulations on how fast you can go on the slide. So, can you give me some numbers?
Well, you see, a really good number is about 30 miles an hour.
That's really fast.
Uh,
That is
that's
scooting.
That's
scooting
yeah,
scooting pretty good. But the slides that well, that's only in portions of the slide. That's not the whole slide. It's designed so that you can speed up and then slow back down because you wouldn't really want to plow into the water at 30 miles an hour. So
I mean, I've
typically,
seen Norbit, so
yeah,
you see. Okay.
yeah. I don't know if I'd want to slide. I don't want to slide into anything at 30
dipping
miles an
across the
hour.
water into the shed across the way, that sounds like not a great idea.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not a great idea. Typically, if you run into the actual like the 10-mile-an-hour range, by the end of it, that way you're just sort of like you get the woo, you plowed into the water, but nothing happened feeling. And it also it's dependent, right? Like we set it up for a maximum of 30, but it also depends on a person's mass and their weight,
yeah,
what sort of speeds they'll reach on the slides.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta know, man. Are you a curves or loops kind of guy?
You know, I'm really a curve kind of guy. We've
Mm,
got some guys on our team who are loops guys. I just it's not for me. The loops um, at 30 miles an hour, you can keep going around loops, but as a safety factor, I really think that designing loops into water slides is just not so great.
mm,
Um, there's always a chance that somebody might get stuck or go back the other way around the loop, and then people pile up. So I'm definitely a curves kind of guy. Curves are safe, and also they're open, and you can have that nice thrilling fear of like you're gonna fall off the water slide.
And it makes you feel like you're part of the Bahama bobsled team.
That's true. The amount of cool runnings jokes in our industry is very high.
Mm, yes,
I imagine.
probably a good thing.
Any
Keeps it
casualties?
fresh, you know.
Any casualties? Of people in our company or just people on water slides in general?
We'll go with your company because asking you to account for all water slide deaths as an expert might be a little much.
Yeah, I mean those do exist, but we've only had one known casualty of water slide in our company, and that actually, unfortunately, was not a fatal impact or anything. Just there was a heart failure of a gentleman who was testing a slide, and we like to say he died from too much fun.
All right. Well,
You know,
unfortunately, you're done.
that's great.
Mm.
I can keep being an expert.
Uh, yeah. I was really interested, so I was gonna go ahead and check and see if there were any records of water slide deaths after I said it.
I'm interested in the top speeds.
I didn't look up top speeds. I can.
I had one more question, but
Okay,
ran out of
I'll
time.
take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, as a general rule, how many slides do y'all have to shut down a year due to either like the dangerous factor or, it just not being constructed well?
Well, we try our best to keep the slides going and make sure that people have what they need to keep the slides going. But in general, we probably shut down on average of about 2 slides a year, which is not a lot. So there's a lot of fun work in being a professional water slide tester.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. The biggest drawback of the job is really the things that you might encounter on the slide that have been left behind. Maybe the best way I could say this is maybe a skid mark or something.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was just reading an article about a 10-year-old boy who flew so fast he flew. Since you're a curves man, he hit one of those curves at doesn't say how fast he was going, but he hit one of those curves and flew out of it, and then dropped down and skid across the concrete, skinning his back.
Ow.
He's in critical condition. They shut the water park down.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't say how fast he was going though.
The fastest speed ever reached is supposedly 57 miles an hour.
It's really fast.
How do you not get like a burn on your back from that?
It's water.
Is that like one of those like drop
It's
slides where you just like fall straight basically, and there's a slide kind of touching you, but you're touching the air?
This article says it was clocked in at Kilimanjaro, 164 foot high, 50-degree fall.
Yeah,
Sweet
that's
God,
like terminal.
that's a
That's
deep
almost
fall.
terminal velocity. What?
Terrifying. That is so terrifying.
That's the best. I want to do that. That sounds awesome.
I do not want to do that. I have a healthy respect for heights.
It's a water park in Rio de Janeiro called Aguas Quentes.
We're going to Rio, boys.
Guys, when we get big, group trip to Rio de Janeiro.
So that we can experience the water slide of death.
I will not go on the water slide. That is not happening.
We don't have to go on the water slide. I just want to see it, We can do the other lamer slides.
So for
I'll get
reference,
on it if it's straight.
The
It's
best
got like
I've found is only one child having died from a water slide. 10-year-old Caleb Schwab with a name like that. I was in Kansas. He went on the ride, the Verrucht.
it's better than the roller coasters where like the ones where your feet are dangling and it just like lets people go.
Yo, rest in peace, dude. The raft he was riding in went airborne during the ascension of the second hill, impacted a metal support beam, and decapitated him.
Oh.
Well, that's gnarly. Whoa.
That's pretty gnarly. Can I say, just for the record, that if you're on a raft, I don't think that counts as a water slide. That's a water ride, but it's not a water slide.
You know what? You're right.
You bring up a good point.
You're right.
You are the expert, so.
Google, you have let me down.
But you're right. That's pretty gnarly.
All right. Well.
So this is my deal. Is like, why do people find fear so entertaining?
That's a good question.
Adrenaline?
Yeah, I was gonna say the adrenaline, right? It's adrenaline.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like there are people who like scary movies. They like the fear. Like if I ride a motorcycle, there's adrenaline, but there's not like fear, right? I just don't understand it.
How fast you been on a motorcycle?
Well, let's see.
Yeah,
I went just over 100 miles an hour which doesn't seem all that fast, but I was by myself in the dark on a highway, and I went over a bridge and I hit a bump, and my butt came up out of the seat, and that was my last trip over 100 miles an hour on a motorcycle.
Well, hey, at least you
So-
landed back down on the bike.
Yeah, no, that was no.
That's
Horrifying.
terrifying.
Yeah.
If you're like on a motorcycle at 100 miles an hour and your butt is not in the seat, that is super terrifying. So yeah, I chilled out after that. That was it. That was my hurrah.
That sounds like an absolute terrifying thing. The fastest I've ever gone in a car was 110, and that's
Yeah.
terrifying in a car. I can't imagine with the wind hitting you. Well, in the car I was driving, it was terrifying, mainly because my
Yeah.
car was shaking. But
Oh my God. Well, it's I.
do you remember
was
my
reading-
little Toyota Camry, Blaze?
Oof.
The '93 one I had, no air conditioning.
Oh, it's been so long.
Yeah.
But I was looking at this this other article on the New York Post about a water slide where you can reach 65 miles an hour.
Whoa.
Is it a
What was that
slide or a
thing?
ride? We gotta specify now.
That's true.
The slide named Verrückt,
Yeah.
meaning insane in German.
They bought it from IKEA.
That's the same ride that kid got his head cut off.
It's 17 stories high.
Excuse me.
God.
That's fear-inducing.
That's.
It's
I don't
rough.
want to be 17 stories up just in general. Like, I don't want to like have to face my own mortality in two separate ways. at the
Definitely
same
not on
time.
a raft.
Right.
But yeah. But back to the motorcycle thing, Fuzz. I never hear about stories of people deciding that they weren't gonna ride motorcycles anymore who
hmm
didn't. You know what? I think I have heard about one story of someone who was with a guy who bailed on his bike, and the bike got crushed, and like he got really bad road rash, and that guy was like, you know what? I saw it happen to him, and I was like, nope, I guess I'm done too.
And that's
Because-
pretty common.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like how hard headed do we have to be for us to be like, oh, that looks safe, and then we bail, and you're like, you know what? I was wrong. That wasn't safe. I'm not doing that anymore. It's like
I mean,
if you
yeah.
knew it wasn't safe before, and you're like, oh, it's not gonna happen to me. It always happens to you. Always.
Well, no, in the motorcycle community, it's known. It's not about when you're gonna crash or bail. It's about if. It's about when. So, like everybody, at some point, regardless, is gonna have some sort of something, you know.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of accepted. But motorcycle riding is a little bit different of a thing because, like, I mean, you accept inherent dangers when you're driving a car. And so like on a motorcycle, those dangers are increased, obviously, very clearly. But the other portion of that is like, well, if you crash, most likely you're the only one who's going to be affected. So you got that going for you. And the other thing is like you have this trade-off with danger, but you also have freedom and this fun experience, the adrenaline. So you just have to be able to weigh that. It's kind of like people who free climb on rock climbing, like they've weighed out the trade-off and they choose the scary thing or the adrenaline thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Riding motorcycles is a blast. And actually, I most enjoyed riding slowly in curvy roads in the summertime.
Oh yeah, slow car.
So-
What I think what stopped me from getting a motorcycle was there's this one video, and this guy's just driving down on the road, and then a deer just comes out of nowhere, and he can't like dodge in time, and he breaks both his arms.
Yeah. I mean that's pretty mild.
Yeah. There's some other ones that are like gnarly, like
Yeah.
cars coming at it, like running red lights and stuff.
Oh man, yeah. A T-bone in a car that ran a red light, that's just like, ugh. Yeah. The majority of accidents, I think, are people pulling out in front of motorcycles, though. Well, at least to say that like they're not caused by motorcyclists going fast or going fast down the interstate that are caused by like people who aren't watching and listening. So, and that's a scary thing to contend with.
Yeah, like when you go down the interstate and you see some chick like eating food and doing her makeup at the same time.
Yeah, people on their phone. Oh man,
Constantly.
yeah, yeah.
Don't text and
that's an
drive.
issue. Yeah, so I guess people would question like why motorcycles go faster, but like literally that's your protection. Because if you go faster than traffic, then you're more in control of what's happening, rather than just like getting run over. So even like I went to the motorcycle training, and they literally told us you need to go faster than traffic, at least some.
It's one of those rules of the
So-
road that the cops only sometimes enforce.
Ah man, I rarely have ever seen a motorcycle pulled over.
It's because the cops can't
Mainly
catch
because
you.
it's really hard for the I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
hard for the cops to keep up with them.
Yeah, well the thing is that like in a straight line you're correct, especially through traffic. But like in curves, cars are much better at taking curves tighter than motorcycles are. So, but
I can
yeah,
see that, yeah.
I can definitely see
I
that.
said I can see that.
yeah. I think for the most part though, it's just more of like if they're stupid enough to do that, they're gonna get what they deserve eventually anyway. So the cops don't care. So,
I guess.
but I guess it's
This
different.
got
for
dark. This got
Hmm?
dark pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh well, then if we're gonna get dark, I wanna tag on a transition a little bit. So
If
assuming
we're gonna get dark, I'd like a 3-piece.
that okay, I'll get 3-piece as well. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Dark meat, light meat,
I prefer tenders,
Mm.
to be honest.
tendies.
Mm-hmm.
I like the
Give me some
breast.
tendies.
Mm-hmm.
I like thighs, chicken thighs.
Mm.
Anyway, assuming that you bail, or when you bail, and you smack the ground at like 80 miles an hour, and of course you go head first, and your helmet just doesn't save you. You go comatose, and they put your body in a hospital. You now have the option, because you're insanely wealthy, because you're on this podcast. The doctors are like, well, we can't save the body. The body's going to die, but we can rebuild him and make it better. Do you want your brain in a jar and your consciousness uploaded to a computer, or do you want RoboCop body?
RoboCop body.
What? Okay.
So like cyberpunk body. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of. Like we're talking about transhumanism here
Yeah.
a little bit. So like,
Cyborgs basically.
yeah, you can go full cyborg, you can go half cyborg, you can go fully integrate me into the system. What are you choosing?
I want my regular human brain. I just want my body to be cyborg parts.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Blaze, what do you want? Robot body?
Mhm.
Because I'm
And
torn.
both are like
Yeah.
totally like legitimate options in this scenario. Like
Yeah, assuming there's enough of you to salvage that they could that some of you would be.
like the technology's there.
Let's assume for the sake of this conversation, your lower half from your navel down is completely useless. They have to get rid of all of that. All of that's going to be replaced with robot parts.
Hmm.
So none of this like oh, as long as I got my dick, I'm good to go. No. You don't have any of that. You got like one arm, most of your torso, and like nothing below that. The bike landed on you. You're yeah.
Interesting indeed.
Now, obviously, when we move to this in real life, that you can get whatever you want replaced. I'm sure if you have the money. But for the sake of this argument, let's leave the sex part out of it.
I will say we're not close to this at all.
Mm-mm.
I
Like
think
this is very out of like very unrealistic at this moment.
I think the Ghost in the Shell option is going to be the best.
Give Elon Chan another 15 years.
Elon.
Elon-sama.
No. I want to be a small mech suit with go-go gadget capabilities. That's it.
When you say go-go gadget, expand a little bit. What do you mean?
You want the extended
Uh,
arms? What do you want?
See, yeah, I think just more like, oh, like I've got regular arms, but look, here's this cool tools that are inside of my arms that I can use. There are other things that I can do, or like, stuff that you regularly see. Like, yes, I have a robot arm, and there's a lighter in my thumb.
The Swiss Army arm.
Yeah, just like different stuff. Like, I mean, you could pack so much technology, assuming we're in this futuristic phase. It's like, if you're gonna make me out of like titanium or whatever, give me some extra stuff.
Yeah,
Check out my cool tool.
I think carbon fiber is probably the go-to there, but I don't know. Okay, so then
I want silly string that comes out of my wrist.
okay, Spider-Man.
Yeah,
And my question for you would be, okay, what would you want? So you get one tool for each finger. Let's just go with like one hand. We don't have to do the whole 10 fingers. Like if you got the gadget hand. When you get a lighter?
Yeah, a knife, a lighter, a flathead screwdriver. What else? Can I get some sort of electrical impulse type deal?
Like a taser?
Yeah, some.
You want a charging cord? A charging cable built into one of your fingers?
That would be
HDMI port?
great. Yeah, I want one of those like where you can charge by setting it on top of the pad rather than plugging it in with my finger. Or like what was I thinking of? Damn, I lost it now. Yeah, I think those are some good things.
You got one more finger.
I know. I thought of something and then I forgot it.
Can opener.
No, I mean, I guess that would be kind of a beer opener.
If you have a screwdriver on one finger,
Yeah,
you don't need a
Nerf,
can opener.
Nerf dart. Pellet, like a pellet gun. Like one ball bearing you can shoot
a magnet that I can turn on and off.
You're gonna rub the back of your head one time, just a little bit too close, and you're gonna shut your whole system down.
No.
It's like, where's my CPU? Oh, sure.
It's okay. There's going to be custom software installed that will turn off the magnet as soon as it comes close to the center.
Turn off the magnet. I don't think that's how magnets work, Fuzz. I'm no Mormon, but
Depends on.
an electromagnet does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Zach Blaze? What would you put in your mystical gadget arm?
Well, see if I'm going the Ghost in the Shell option, and just for clarification purposes, in that anime, there's they basically take people's human brains and then make them to where you can have like separate bodies and you can move your brain in between the bodies. And so that what that would allow you to do is to have different bodies and have different gadgets that you can just swap to, like, real quick.
Secret Agent Blaze.
So this is our engineer friend who is prepared for every situation.
So you can basically have specialized bodies.
I don't know. I want swords coming out of my arms.
But not all the time. Like, say you're in the bedroom and then it's like, whoops.
That's the perfect time to have swords for arms.
And then you're like,
talking about?
This always happens.
You just got to replace the swords with.
It never happens to me. I'm sorry. Replace the swords with flowers.
Yes, flowers. That's what he was gonna say.
Not lube guns. Just lube everywhere. I don't know. I feel like the thing that Blaze was inferring wouldn't be the play, because, like, why? You're not getting.
And it makes you unnecessary as a man.
Yeah, it's like why? You're not getting anything out of it.
Her pleasure, Ryan. That's what you're getting out of it.
No, dude, that's not enough.
How do you know they can't make a robot body?
You know.
I mean, we're at the point where they're like transplanting brains.
We're not yet. In your future, maybe, but there has never been a successful brain transplant.
I mean, literally the whole thing is hypothetical. So
yeah.
I guess in this theoretical hypothetical future, maybe. Would you even want to feel your body at that point, though? You know, like, would you want?
Cold.
Yeah, would you want to
I'm
have
made
some
of
kind of
metal.
like? nerve structure, even synthetic nerve structure set in just so that you could feel your dick.
I mean, temperature. It's a temperature sensor. It's a pressure sensor.
Yeah, but I feel like the only reason we care so much is because of all the testosterone. Like, if you didn't have the organs that produce testosterone in your body as a dude, you really don't want to do it anymore.
I mean,
You
I
know?
think philosophically, or not even just in general, based on our natures, even if you don't have the physical drive to do that, you would still have some emotional desire to fulfill that.
I guess. I feel like that's one of those things. It's like you would do it just to remind yourself that you can't, and then afterwards you're like, "Why did I do that?" You get that post nut clarity. That's just like, I didn't need to do that. I already knew this wasn't gonna work. I don't know why I thought it was gonna work. Of course it didn't work. And you're just sad. You're just more sad. But you also have really cool robot arms that have different gadgets.
One of those is a tissue for when you're sad.
One is a tissue for when you're sad. One of them's definitely got barbecue sauce, like or ranch for sure.
Arby sauce. Give me the Arby sauce.
Arby sauce. Yeah, I think one of my fingers. So I definitely have like knife, screwdriver, some kind of like hot sauce, maybe Arby's sauce or something. I don't know. Did you know that Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings are owned by the same person?
Nope.
Sorry, this is really weird. I saw this the other day.
That guy gets it really right in some instances and really wrong in others.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they. I thought I'd seen Arby buys Buffalo Wild Wings. Apparently, this happened several years ago. I was like, why would they buy Buffalo Wild Wings? And that's probably about the time the Buffalo Wild Wings got really terrible.
They
I
were
remember
always
that.
terrible. Our taste just got better.
We became more sophisticated chicken
That's
wing
right.
eaters.
More
Started going to,
sophisticated gentlemen.
What is that? I can't think of the one over there in the kind of bad part of town in Memphis.
Mr. P's?
Not Mr. P's.
Guru.
Chang's over by our
Not
Gurus.
Gurus. No, it was something.
Mr. T.
It was one of the first ones we went to instead of Buffalo Wild Wings. And we went there a couple of times and it was really good. And then we tried Mr. P's and then we never went back to that place because it was
Oh.
that much better.
Overall for Winchester.
Yes, Winchester.
What is that? Winchester and like Ridgeway or not Ridgeway?
Yep,
but
it is Ridgeway.
Oh,
I
you're
can't think of the
talking
name of
about
Bosses.
Bosses? You're not talking about Bosses, are you?
No.
No, Bosses is
Remember-
off of
Remember
Poplar.
when
Yeah.
we lived in the apartment together?
Yeah, Mr. P's used to be over there.
No, not Mr. P's. It was the place they had like the leather seats, and they always judge you when you walk in, like the fake leather seats. They always
Yep.
judge you. They had a
You
clear
can always feel the
storefront.
judgment. They're like, "Why are y'all here? This is
Right.
not a place for you."
Right.
I mean, that sounds like Mr. P's when it was over on Winchester.
No, Mr. P's.
Oh, I'm
was
thinking
over on
I'm thinking
Winchester.
of when it was over there off of Hacks.
Mr. P's on Hacks. There was judgment, but their wings were fire. I like them better then than they are now.
Yeah, no, they're not so great.
Their wings at Winchester.
I don't know. There's a Buffalo Wild Wings over there, but I
wouldn't be
I don't.
there.
No,
Blah.
I must
not
have
that section.
blocked it out of my memory.
Do you know where the Chick-fil-A is over on Winchester, near where we used to have the apartment? Like,
yes, vaguely.
It was down that way.
Right. It's in
Oh
that
yeah,
area.
yeah. Okay. I think I.
It was really good. It was a good one. We went there a couple times even after Mr. P's, actually.
I don't know. There are better places, and Wing Guru place is very good.
I love Wing Guru. It's good.
Is that still the top?
I guess it depends on who you ask.
If you're
Wing
going-
Guru is like close to the top. The magic of Wing Guru is that they're so consistent.
Like, it's
It's-
good every time you go.
It's
It's
the
a
only.
little pricey.
It's a little pricey, but it's also the only wing place I'll ever order like barbecue wings from, because their like custom barbecue sauce is really good. So I would definitely have some form of hot sauce or barbecue sauce in one of my robot arms. Maybe just a chicken wing in the other. Like the other digits all just have chicken wings in them. Maybe that's what it would be.
Start digistructing chicken wings,
Yeah.
making them out of.
Oh, I guess I can't taste the wings. There's no point. Oh no.
No, you can taste. You can taste the wings.
Can you as a robot?
Well, I mean, we have right now. We can make blind people see. So,
I need a fact check on that.
taste.
Can we do that for real? Is that a
We
thing?
don't make them actually
Devos.
see.
It was called Devos.
Devos,
Oh,
yeah.
Devos.
We give them sensory feedback in lieu of vision that allows them to navigate.
Some Daredevil shit right there.
Yeah, basically.
Huh.
So you can probably get some sensory feedback. I mean,
So you could get like chicken taste.
I would say in the next 20 years there's going to be a sensor for it. Yeah. There's already a sensor for many things.
Are you saying there's hope for me, Fuzz? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying there's hope for you. I watched a video yesterday. Google created a thing for a guy where he was completely blind. He could run on his own with no assistant.
I mean, he's blind. His legs work.
Yeah, but how does he not going to run into it?
I mean,
Free or
you just
something.
take it as it comes, man.
Those
Those horns blaring, that doesn't bother you. You just go.
What is this falling sensation I'm having right now? I must have found the edge of the cliff.
Wow, the ground came really fast.
Yeah.
So what?
So,
Use cameras or something?
go ahead.
No, I was curious about the details. Like, what do they use? Cameras or lasers? Like how?
So yeah, they used a machine learning type software, and they did a road, or not a road, a path, and it had a stripe down the middle, and they let it detect the stripe, and then they had that came through his phone, which was Bluetooth connected to a headset, which gave him
Like-
cranial impulses on
Yeah.
either side of his head.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, they could use Google Maps for that. Honestly, they could just
Well, they
track-
designed it.
track his
Yeah.
route. Yeah.
They actually designed it specifically so it would not have GPS dependency, which is pretty good because you lose signal sometimes. So,
Well, I mean, why would that need GPS when his phone has GPS? It's just doubling down.
Well, but it would still work on the app on his phone, but they designed it so it would actually be looking at the line and not relying on an internet signal.
Yeah. But the
So-
phone, I assume, relies on internet signal to see the line. So
No, it doesn't. It's within it's just you've got a camera on your phone, and then the program in your phone looks at the image as it comes through in real time and gives a signal based on where the line is relative to the image.
oh,
Like
okay.
so, yeah.
So you're like having to run with your camera out.
Yeah, he had like a little thing around his waist where his phone was on the front of him, pointed at the ground in front of him, basically, like out in front. Simply.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Zach?
Oh, I was gonna say to Fuzz, thank you for LSU putting Florida out of the playoffs.
You are so welcome. We needed that
Uh,
this year.
As a fan base in the SEC, nothing greater than Florida in misery because they couldn't beat LSU, who was not great this year. Better than Tennessee, but still not great this year.
You said nothing greater, but there is one thing that would be great, and that is Alabama. So, at least for me. I mean, as a Tennessee fan.
Yeah, we both hate Florida. We both hate Alabama. LSU and Tennessee are a lot alike. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both of us are usually pretty mediocre. Sometimes we find success.
Yeah.
Wow.
When's the last time Tennessee shit, bro?
Say that again. You cut out really bad.
When's the last time Tennessee?
Oh no, he
Cut out.
cut out again. Oh no, he
Oh,
won't
no.
answer that question. Oh,
God
no.
doesn't want me to hear this question.
Oh no.
98's when we won our last football
Oh,
championship.
So I understand. No, as someone who grew up as a Saints fan, you just gotta keep chugging along. Like these situations happen.
Yeah, but I'm pretty
So-
sure that they meant life, not beer. So, you know,
It's true, chugging life, not beer. But in football, there's both life and beer.
beer is life. Beer is life.
So yeah, I'm kind of hopeful that we do well against Ole Miss this tomorrow. If they use the freshman quarterback that they used against Florida, I think we'll win.
We gonna lose by 30 tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're playing A&M. They're gonna murder us. It's gonna be so much fun because I hope we fire our coach tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, it's about time. You know, this is the season that makes me wish that LSU or not LSU that NCAA football had a draft. Like we could get some good draft picks. I don't actually wish that, but it just feels like that.
Yeah.
Also, Burrow got nastied, and that makes me sad.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was a
Yeah.
dirty hit,
Yeah,
and he's out for the season now. So that
Yeah.
sucks.
I
He was
would be.
having a fantastic year till that point.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he comes back next
He's
year.
not. They've already said he's out for the season.
No, I
Oh, you
mean,
mean next year?
Yeah,
He'll be back next season. Dude, the way that technology has advanced, it's just incredible. Like how sports science works now. Like they have guys back ready to play
Hmm.
in less than a year usually.
Yeah, but it also, I don't know. I'm thinking about Tua Tagovailoa as a cautionary tale because Nick Saban is to blame for his injury, his further.
But he
injury.
came back a couple weeks later. Not
That's true. That's true. But
Burrow's gonna have a whole off season to heal and stuff. I mean, he's been hurt now for 3 or 4 weeks already. So,
yeah,
but
I hope.
I know the other two in here aren't big sports fans. I just wanted to thank you for putting Florida out of the playoffs. That's a big
Yeah.
thing. I loved it,
You're welcome.
and I cheered for it. I watched it. They missed that field goal, and I was, yeah! It was the most hype I've been for a football game this year. Tennessee was so bad, but
I'm just
Yeah.
watching this this video that Blaze sent about the robotic arm.
did y'all see that the stimulus checks? They're now thinking they're going to do a $600 stimulus check, and we might not even get that because they're going to go on reprieve for the holidays. I think today, like if it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
get done today, they're going home for the holidays.
Yeah, no, they were always going to drag it out until a Democrat got in office. That's been
Yes.
this whole thing. That they could have done a stimulus check before the election, but they didn't want to because they didn't want to give Trump any favor.
Well, that's true. That's true. But Trump also
But
could
I
have
mean,
just given
people are
us.
suffering right now, and it is the
Yeah.
holidays.
They also
Like,
could
they
have.
need to help some people.
Well, to be
That's-
honest, I'm not sure how much of it is Trump. A lot of the not giving stimulus comes out to Mitch McConnell, which I guess you could kind of blame on Trump, because Mitch McConnell is kind of a dried up old man raisin who really deserves not to have a job at all, but he does for some reason. So I'm not surprised that we may not get a stimulus that's even $600. To be fair. We'll see. And yeah, I don't know what they thought $600 is going to do when 1200 didn't do anything really.
Mm.
I mean, I'll take $600, but I'm going to stick by the same thing I said before when we got the first one, which was if this shows up in my tax returns, I'm going to not be happy.
Mhm.
Because everyone's like, oh, it's free money. It's like, well, we've printed 35% of the cash this year within the last 6 months that we've ever printed. Ever. So,
Inflation going to skyrocket. Well, at least go up a bit.
yeah.
No, it's we definitely are doing a good job of detaching the real market from Wall Street at this point.
I'm just afraid that big business is big like online business is beginning to like really gear up for the long haul, that they are literally just gonna dump the regular folks here in the next few years. In a
Like
sense,
all the small business
yeah,
people.
they're gonna. Well, I mean, that's how you start in a takeover, right? All right, conspiracy theory time. Let's go. So the first thing you do is you kill all the small businesses and you make everybody broke. You break everybody by getting rid of all the jobs. So now you got a bunch of people who don't have money, they don't have value, they don't have anything to do, and you take away all the ability to be independent. So you either have to work for these big business or you have to work for the government. So you either work for the man or you're a rebel. Now they have cause to start killing rebels, and this is how you slowly take over a country. It's going to be great.
See, I would. I'm going to modify that statement because the thing that you're missing here is entertainment for the masses, right? This is the same reason the Romans opened the Colosseum.
What do you think the news is, man?
News is not entertainment. News is hatred. Entertainment is like your Twitter feed.
But, yeah, what are you talking about? The businesses that are gonna be taking over are the ones that are providing the entertainment. I'm talking YouTube. I'm talking Google. I'm talking Twitter. I'm talking Facebook.
Technically, one of the oldest entertainment forms is beer.
Whores. Oh, beer.
That too.
That is the oldest.
And you know what? Pornhub just deleted 80% of their content, so it's starting. It's coming. The reckoning is happening. I wouldn't be surprised if we can't post YouTube videos in the next 2 years. It's going to be because we're not verified. And if YouTube moves over to like Pornhub did, where only verified users can post, it's going to be very difficult. Like the independent thinker, the independent person is going to have a very, very hard time getting their voice heard. And this is how you start taking over.
Well, yeah, this is how you silence people.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like, we're just going to go to another platform. You think YouTube's not going to start buying out platforms that oppose it?
Well, Google
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have the power of Google for purchasing behind you. You're like, oh, well, what if something else comes up? What else is going to come up that's going to defy YouTube? What are you going to say, Blaze?
Blaze?
Did we lose you? What were you going to say?
I forgot what I was originally going to say.
Oh, well, that was anticlimactic.
I would say that the market necessitates that there is a replacement for YouTube at this point. Now, Google is working very hard to assure that no serious contenders come to the top, but
Google ruined YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, that's
a tangent, but
and that's just smart business, not the ruining part, but the being harsh on small competitors.
I would like
that's smart business ruining.
I would like to take a moment to directly speak to YouTube. We love you, YouTube. Please don't change. Please.
I would like to take a moment to directly speak to YouTube. Get it together, man.
I will edit you out. I will censor this podcast if I have to.
I'm sorry. What are we going to get demonetized because the money that we were going to have in the first place? Where is it at?
I'm not worried about getting demonetized because we don't have monetization in the first place. I'm worried that we're not even going to be able to post anything. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the freedom for independents such as ourselves to be able to post content on YouTube and have it be heard.
See, here's the thing. In order for you to secure that freedom, the answer is not to toe the line. The answer is to find an alternative version of doing things and work with it before it's widely adopted, right? So that there has to be first adopters to anything.
I suppose.
Because if you toe the line, the only thing they're going to do is line.
I mean, you toe the line as long as you need to survive. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean you're kissing up to them. You know, YouTube doesn't take down criticism of YouTube. I don't think, not directly, but it could. It could be a reason that they take your videos down, but I don't know. I'm just saying I want YouTube to remain a platform where anybody can upload as long as it falls within their guidelines. If their guidelines become too strict, we probably won't upload the podcast to YouTube. especially if videos start getting taken down. But right now, it's this and Facebook is where all of our podcasts are housed until our logo is finished, and we can start uploading to iTunes.
I don't have a timeline for that, by the way.
I know, that's fine. I've still got to start.
Kind of going off of the stimulus check stuff.
Back
The
to a real
first
topic.
rounds of the vaccines went out this week, and we've
Mhm.
already had our first vaccine death. So, you know,
The one didn't some dude get anaphylactic shock?
yep, it put him
Yes.
in anaphylactic shock.
That's the dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in England, or I think it's England, they're requiring you to take it in a hospital, and they got to monitor.
I would really hope that they require you to take it in a hospital. I'm not going to Walgreens for a COVID vaccine like they give you with the flu shot, which is why I
And
don't
then
get
you
the flu
walk-
shot.
And then you walk away and like start convulsing and passing out in your car driving.
Yeah, because I can tell you one thing's for certain. No one's going to stop at Walgreens and call an ambulance for you. Not around here. They'd be like, look at that weird dude ODing outside of the Walgreens. Oh no, that guy's having a heart attack. It's like, no, this dude's gross. Why is he ODing outside of Walgreens? Get your life together, man. But I don't know.
I mean, one of the only thing I can think of is like, well, that just depends on how well you're dressed and what your skin color is.
It depends on. Well, I don't know about that, but it's definitely more about which Walgreens you go to for sure.
I was just saying, keep prayers up for me because we're being forced to take them next week. So,
Oof,
Yeah,
that's
no.
right.
Just,
I was gonna ask you when.
Just make sure you should maybe like hang out in the hospital for a while. You know, just
we're doing it at our facility.
Yeah.
So,
Is it during shifts or?
I don't know how it works because you're supposed to have 3 days to let it like sink in, and you're like not have COVID, but you kind of have COVID for like 3 days.
I don't.
I don't understand that. Can they compel you to get that vaccine?
Yeah, they can force you to get it. Yeah, for sure.
They can say you're required to have that to work here, and if you don't have it, you don't work here.
I mean, colleges require you be vaccinated before you can attend. High school requires you to be
Yeah.
vaccinated before you can attend. Or at least
But
the ones around here.
Those are it's a little bit different because this is a new technology. I don't think
A
they've
rush
ever.
technology too.
It's not like a regular vaccine. This is like, was it mRNA or something?
Something like that.
Let me look it up. It's where they take like the DNA of the virus and then recode it or something like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to jumpstart the proteins
It's
or
supposed
the.
to make herd immunity, which is what we should have been doing all along, anyways.
Well, that was going to be my
This is how we
question.
get
Is like,
zombies.
what is the? Yeah, it is. How does this work? Right? Are they giving you COVID and then you have it for a few days and then now you're immune to it? Because that doesn't work with the flu shot, which is literally what they do. They give you a dead version of this year's strain of the flu shot as a way for you to build up T cells against it. But
Which is really funny, right?
yeah,
because-
it's also funny that it changes every year. But
Right, like, well, the same
Well,
people
the flu
who are
changes every year. so-
for vaccines are against herd immunity, but vaccines are literally herd immunity. I mean, yes, it changes the way in which you receive the virus and the duration and intensity, but they're just doing the same thing.
yeah, that's what
I
he
don't
was.
think people that are for herd immunity are against vaccines. I think
Okay,
those are the same people.
Yeah,
I got an article for you. Here you go. Send it in the chat.
I think that's the same group of people.
Yeah.
Fuzzy.
Well, when I say herd immunity, usually
See.
there's a sense in which it's used, which means herd immunity through exposure, right? So, like, there's a group of people, I think, who say, no, we should go inside and we should wear masks and all that stuff. And there's a group of people that say, if you're at risk, do that. And if you're not, just get out there and do it, and then it'll all work itself out eventually.
Well, and this is what's probably going to get us taken down. It depends on who you're listening to, because if you're listening to the CDC at the beginning of the year, it's one thing, and if you listen to the CDC now, it's another. So it's all about if you listen to the health professionals of the world who are saying that we
Who
should
change
not
things
be
constantly.
sitting inside. Yeah, which changes constantly. It's like we should not be sitting inside. We should go out and develop herd immunity. Like all the people who are at risk should definitely stay inside and isolate themselves and wear masks. But everybody else should be out and about trying to build this immunity and be safe while you do it. It's like, okay, so now they were telling us to stay inside and wear masks. Now they're kind of telling us to go outside without the masks. You know, you can't just tell us one thing at the beginning of the year, then tell us another thing, then tell us another thing, then tell us another thing.
Oh, they can.
Well, I mean, they can, but it doesn't change that it's really confusing and hard to believe people because, I mean, doctors were saying this is not the right choice. And then doctors are also like, you should take the COVID-19 vaccine. We also don't know why you're taking a COVID-19 vaccine that's not really been tested by time because it's not even been out a year yet. And everybody knows that vaccines are only really tested after like 5 years. Like you can't see what the after effects are until after you've had the vaccine. It's like, should we be taking a vaccine that hasn't been tested? Really tested? Really? Should we?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, if your job tells you to get it, then I mean you don't really have a choice. And I imagine most workplaces are going to be like, you got to get this vaccine, but
Yeah.
also strange.
Well, I mean, especially in healthcare. I mean, like I'm not gonna fight it, obviously, because
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
like that I still have a job. So I mean,
yeah.
Do they have the option of like just giving you coronavirus?
I mean,
I don't know.
getting the coronavirus doesn't or does make you immune to it.
It can, but doesn't necessarily.
That's a weird
There
way
are-
of saying we don't know.
Well, no. That what I'm saying is that you can get it a second time, but you can also get antibodies for it, which
Wasn't-
is the more likely case.
Wasn't it like one person who got it again?
There has been several.
I thought the
I mean-
case was like of the 1% that got it, 1% of the 1% gets it again.
Well, it's like you get the flu vaccine or whatever, and then you get a different strand of the flu later, or
Yeah.
they try to it can like mutate in a little bit, and
I mean,
change
that's
as it goes around.
well,
I think that's how it is, right, Zach?
I get that it mutates.
Yeah, it mutates.
I get that it mutates, which is why I don't get the flu vaccine because it's like why would I just keep getting the flu shot when I rarely ever get the flu anyway? I mean, eventually I'm going to get the flu and it's going to be bad, I'm sure, but I haven't had a flu shot in like 7 years. So like especially after what happened, what was it, last year, 2 years ago, when they gave us a flu shot for the wrong strain of the flu?
You gotta love them.
Yeah, it's like, here's your flu shot. Oh, that's the wrong shot. Oops. My sister was sick for like 3 weeks.
Oh, I remember that. Your sister was in the hospital, right?
I don't know if she ever went to the hospital. Maybe she was.
Because of
Well,
the
that's a
flu,
different thing.
or
Yeah,
is it the flu or the shot?
that was the shot. She got the flu shot and then she was sick for like 3 weeks. Now, granted, she's not the best example because she's like 0% body fat and like she gets, I don't know, she's gotten a lot stronger after she's had her baby. So
She weighs nothing.
yeah, she weighs nothing. She eats nothing. She's already kind of like, I don't know. She's kind of already like paranoid about getting sick, or at least she was. Having a kid changed a lot of it. She's gotten a lot stronger. But yeah, I don't know. I'm torn. I know I should get the flu shot, but I rarely ever get the flu, so I just don't. You know? Do you guys get your flu shots every year?
I have
No.
to.
I don't think I've ever gotten one. Maybe once.
I don't really get my flu shot because I don't ever get the.
But do you get your
Uh,
cootie shot?
Yeah, I nickel dime that is.
Good man.
I work in a factory with a bunch of people, and maybe like once a year might get the flu, and then I get to be off work for a week, so that's nice.
Okay, so the mRNA vaccine says it teaches our cells how to make a protein or a piece of a protein to trigger an immune response inside of the body, and that's how it works over feeding a dead or dormant version of the virus into our body, or a weakened version, maybe not a dead version, but a weakened version of it, like they do with the flu.
And it's also a new unproven technology, so
Just finish the stem cell
Yeah.
stuff already, man. Finish the stem cell stuff so that we can just start regrowing organs. Come on. I need new liver. This one's used up. It's time for another one. Papa needs new eyeballs. Maybe that's the future we really need, where we don't need robot bodies. We sustain
Robo
ourselves. Yeah, we sustain ourselves
Robotic
forever
livers.
by just
biology.
Well, no, just like growing our own body parts. It's like, honey, will you fetch my
Biological,
eyeball
yeah.
from the refrigerator? I need a new one. You know. Ooh, the better question is, if they paid you for your stem cells, would you sell it?
You know they have to go into like your bone marrow for that, right?
Yeah.
Which is like,
Super painful.
and they get that out of your spine, and it's awful. It's like one
Super
of the
painful.
worst things.
Super dangerous.
Yeah.
But if they gave you, like, let's say $10,000.
Nope,
Not worth it.
not worth it.
It'd be better to just grow it in a lab.
How much would it be worth to you for them to
Well-
take? I mean, it grows back for you. They're just taking some. You get it back. You grow it back, right? Like they're
Yeah,
tapping you.
I'm gonna have to go for like $2 million.
They're farming you for it. $2 million for your stem cells.
Well, because on the off
Pfizer,
chance,
I'm 500,000 if you're listening. let's go.
That they nick something, I would be paralyzed for life, or maybe even killed. Yeah,
Bro, that's
we're
what the
talking
that's what the stem cells are for, Fuzz. No, you're not paralyzed for life. Come on, bro. They're just gonna regrow your limbs. You'll be good.
What if it was one of those things where if you buy into it and you're part of the program, then you get the benefits of the program. Or-
They're gonna sell your stem cells for hamburger meat. That's what they're gonna
Yeah.
do. They're gonna turn your stem cells into hamburger meat.
There
What-
it is.
oh.
There's our conspiracy theory that we could pass off to people.
Interesting thought. What if they? Well,
Oh
be really
man,
nice if
if
they
we
could just
ran
grow-
out of all the animals on the planet and we started harvesting ourselves for hamburger meat, for food,
Well,
Then are you a cannibal? Yes. I
Well,
yes, absolutely.
we're already past that though, because we can artificially grow meat in a lab.
And we can just make plants into meat, although it's not very good. But I mean,
You
it
put
is a
the,
thing
like,
people do.
spices and stuff. You know, it's still a vegetable, but it tastes, weird.
I don't know, man.
Talk about like soy
It's
protein.
got a funky flavor to it to me.
Soy.
Umami.
So I remember. Didn't they put
Soy
like,
burgers are okay. I'm talking about like the Beyond Meat or whatever. Ugh.
We put this chemical in there that may or may not cause a problem.
There's this other one that like it's a plant burger, but it bleeds. Like they put like red food coloring in it or something.
What? Why would you want? I don't know. That's strange.
Yeah. I guess someone who's really struggling to give up on the meat. They want that blood. That's what brings the people into the meat, the blood.
Yeah, the hamburger meat. I really want my hamburgers to bleed. Also, good job, Ryan, reminding yourself to silence your phone that you definitely didn't do. I guess I must have missed that part in the last video.
Well, we've been going a little over an hour. We can keep going, or this could be a pretty good stopping place, I think.
My vote is I am hungry, so
Okay.
I will not say that. I would say it's a pretty good stopping point.
So,
Cannibalism, the best stopping point. You heard it here, folks. Okay, well,
Well,
Thanks everybody for sticking
again,
around.
this was Ignorant Experts, and we're here every Friday. So,
Yes, I do the best I can to get the episode out on Friday.
or Saturday, who knows? It's sometime in there.
It's usually Friday night, Saturday morning, depending on how long the episode is and how long it takes to edit. But if it doesn't come up tonight, it will definitely be up tomorrow morning. So thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us here, subscribe, hit the button, hit the bell if you need to. I don't know if we have one of those. Or
What's
Let
up,
the
subscribers?
Let the YouTube overlords know that you enjoy our content.
Yes.
Let them know.
Also, leave a comment of literally anything. Maybe type the alphabet. It doesn't matter. The comment section is really the only way to get in the algorithm.
Yeah,
That's
we're
true.
sending radio waves out into the alien universe, and we need to hear something back.
Oh, I wanted to talk about aliens. No. All right, next podcast. Someone remind me we're talking about
That's
aliens.
it for next time.
Yep. All right, guys. Later.